Late Night with the Devil is a low-budget horror film. There's a lot of hype because it got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It went down now, obviously. And the filmmaker duo of brothers released a tweet saying that, yes, they used AI in their film because they only had a budget of $1 million. So 3 of the images were just AI generated, which people don't like. I, didn't think it would affect me, but it does. When you're watching the movie, you see a little cutaway, knowing that that little infographic, the cheap-looking little card, wasn't even like paid for. They just did an AI thing. It makes me feel icky, like someone's losing a gig out of that. It could be their first gig. It could be, something they could put a credit on their resume. But so that made me feel weird during the movie. But that didn't really affect my overall review. My overall review is that the movie is just okay. It's a little underwhelming. This is about Jack Dyerson. He is a 70s late night TV show for night owls, a late night program that competes with Johnny Carson. And the beginning of the film is sort of like a mockumentary voiceover, give you the backstory of like how he rose to power and fame and how he sort of slumped. And then we get two forms of footage. There's the actual taping of the show, and then there's like a sort of backstage, sort of black and white, sort of, seeing what's going on behind the scenes. I was expecting that, but whenever they cut to commercial break, it sort of breaks the flow and the pacing of the film. I didn't like that. Every time it's about to get good, it's like, nope, we got to go to commercial break, and then we, go backstage, and he goes, hey, what's going on? Oh, I'm sorry about that. David Dastmalchian pretty much carries the entire film. Obviously, he's the big draw. He's a really good actor, and he's really good in the film. But the movie, is too slow. It honestly feels like a VHS segment, just extended for time. I didn't know fake commercials or anything. They didn't push the black satire of like exploitation 70s. It's too comedic. It is a comedy horror, or even if it's just meant to be horror, everyone's sort of joking and vibing, and it sort of ruins the seriousness of the film. I felt like I found myself like chuckling a lot more than I should have, because it's like a horror film, but it's not very serious, and some of the visual effects are pretty bad at the end. To be honest, it felt like a VHS segment just stretched out, and they added a lot of backstory for the main character, of course, but honestly, if you were to trim the beginning and the end and all the guest stars and just had the possession angle, this could have been a cool VHS short. But trying to stretch it out into a movie doesn't quite hit the mark. I kind of feel like the movie's also like really kitschy because it's trying to be like 70s cheeky era, sort of safe, but also some of the set pieces leading up to the horror stuff is really over the top. There's like a vomit scene that's trying to copy The Exorcist. Some of the visual effects look like crap. I feel if you went for a more practical, sort of realistic, sort of, is this a demon possession or is this a multiple personality thing? That could have been a nice angle. But overall, the film is just okay. It's a little underwhelming, and I gave it a 5 out of 10.